Shalawam, family, Shalawam. First things first, I want to say all praises, honor, and glory be to Yahawah, YAHAWAH ACHAD, Kal Yadah, ka-ba-wad, Hawad, Halal YAHAWAH ACHAD. So I just wanted to dive into this topic. The topic of today is politics, or specifically the question, right? The title would be politics. Should Israelites be dealing with politics? Or should Israelites deal with politics? That would be the best way to word it, right? And the answer to should Israelites deal with politics, if anybody is wondering out there, is no. No, we should not be dealing with politics. And as you can see on the screen, this is the answer of why we shouldn't be dealing with politics. This is one of the answers. So, as you all see, it's Deuteronomy 17, 14, and 15. 14. When you enter the land Yahawah, your Shalawam, is giving you, and have taken possession of it and settled in it, and you say, let us set a king over us, like all the nations around us. Be sure to appoint over you a king Yahawah, your Shalawam, chooses. He must be from among your fellow Israelites. Do not place a foreigner over you, one who is not an Israelite. Once again, do not place a foreigner over you, one who is not an Israelite. So, as you see, this is the reason why we're not supposed to even be dealing with politics, because a lot of times in politics, right, as we see, there's mixed races of people, right? Like, normally it is not your own who is over you. Now, as far as with a president, now on a state level, yes, you can go vote your own over you. We see this a lot, right? But there's also times where, like, the judges, like the whole system, the way it's set up, it's not just Yasharal as a judge, as an alderman, as a senator, as a governor, etc., etc. There's not just Yasharal over Yasharal in running America, right? Because then that would mean this would be our land, and it's not. And also, if it was our land, we would not be following this system anyway. We would just be going by the law, the Torah, aka, which means the law. That is it. That's what we go by as Yasharal. So, anywho, here in the land of your enemies, you are not supposed to even be worried about this system and what's going on and things of that nature, because this is not your land. Period. You, especially when you come into the truth. Now, when you're not in the truth and you're just living your life, of course, you don't know certain things. Like, that's all you know is, I need to get involved with politics to make a difference. Like, that's all our people know, is dealing with politics and paying attention, right? If we want to see legit change in our community. But in all actuality, you don't really need politics to change your community. All it takes is people to come together and fix up people's homes, sweep the streets, make plates for people, feed the homeless, etc., etc. Like, you don't need a politician to come tell you, hey, get the trash off your yard, go help your neighbor, go help that single mama put her groceries up in her home. Like, you don't need politics to help you do these things. So yeah, like, that's just my take on it. Like, we don't need to be involved with politics, especially if you know that you're Yasharal. You should just be doing the work in your community, like, or around people that you know, your family, your friends, etc., etc. Of course, one of the people around you is a way that you can give back to your community. And once again, like, feeding the needy, volunteering, things like that. Like, you don't need politics to necessarily do these things. But I also wanted to get into the second reason. Well, I just want to pull up the scripture for the second reason, which I already said was, this is the land of your... Now it says, 36, as for those of you who are left, I will make their hearts so fearful in the lands of their enemies that the sound of a wind-blown leaf will put them to flight. They will run as though fleeing from the sword, and they will fall, even though no one is pursuing them. They will stumble over one another as though fleeing from the sword, even though no one is pursuing them. So you will not be able to stand before your enemies. Our people are experiencing that today. And our ancestors, the one who came before us in this land, surely experienced that. Now 38, you will perish among the nations. The land of your enemies will devour you. So once again, we can't be in the land. And we know that America is not our land if it says here in Leviticus 26 that we will perish among the nations, which means we are scattered among the nations, which means we are in the land of our enemies. Which, if we are in the land of our enemies, no one is for us. It's literally us against the world. The only protector and savior that we have is Yahweh. He is the only one that is going to restore us and get us up out of the land of our enemies. No one else. So all of you all that's going along with these heathenistic ways, celebration of these holidays, worrying about politics, you are in error, because you're trusting in man, you're trusting in this man-made system, and going along with these customs that they have here, instead of trusting in Yahweh, your creator, your God, your savior, your redeemer. Okay, your strength, the one who strengthens you and encourages you. You're not trusting in him, you're trusting in man-made doctrines and also man, period. Right. Now let's go to 39. Those of you who are left will waste away in the lands of their enemies because of their sins. Also because of their ancestors' sins, they will waste away. Okay, so we are experiencing that today. I'm not sure if I want to dive into 40. That was pretty much will start to take me into a whole nother topic, and I just want to talk about the politics. But so yeah, like what I said before, we should not be dealing with politics. There is no reason for it. Like there isn't. This is not our land, so we should not be worried about it. All we can do is what we can do until it's time to go. The next thing that I want to dive into and what I noticed is the women. And yes, I will be addressing the women, and specifically the women of Yasharal in this video. I'm going to pivot to them because, as everyone saw online, maybe it's just an online thing, but a lot of the women that are Yasharal, whether they know it or not, have been clowning because of this Kamala Harris woman. You sisters out there were big mad when she lost. You all thought that she was a sister and she wasn't, and you all were willing to go toe to toe with anybody who was trying to take away that image of her to you all, which was very sad, because it's like this woman do not care about you. From what I've seen, Kamala Harris, the only thing that she was running off of, her main point was the abortion thing. Everybody was concerned about was she black or not, quote unquote, but nobody was concerned with the actual policies that she had at all. And you could tell that they were lying, because all we saw, I know I did, me and my husband did, all we were seeing was ads being run on TV towards the end of the election. Now all of a sudden she's going to help these people, and she's going to help the working class, and she's going to do this and do that at the very end of the election. Like, sis, you should have been, well, she's not sis, girl, you should have been had said all of this early on if you wanted to have a real chance of winning. But anyway, it didn't matter because most of the votes went towards her anyway. Oh, and I need to bring that up. People out there, let me Google this like on the spot. Let me Google this on the spot about voting, right? And I know that voting is a very controversial topic for our people, but people, you all been to school. At some point, I'm pretty sure you were taught the different legislations or the different branches of the government. And you were also told about voting and how it worked. The electoral vote is actually what counts, not the popular vote. The votes that we have, that we can do, are popular votes. When it comes to the election, I'm not talking about in your state. When you vote in your state, trying to, vote in aldermen and the different council people and all that, council city peoples, council city workers, whatever, that do count. When you vote for your governor of your state, when you vote for your senate of the state, like that counts. Like you are actually voting and it matters. But when it comes to the president, the only vote that matters is the electoral college vote. So the electoral college consists of 538 electors. A majority of 270 electoral votes is required to elect the president. Your state has the same number of electors as it does member in its congressional delegation. One for each member in the House of Representatives plus 2 senates. So down there. So an electoral college is a body whose task is to elect a candidate to a particular office. It is mostly used in the political context for a constitutional body that appoints the head of state or government. Okay? You can Google this. It is important to remember that the president is not chosen by a national popular vote. The electoral college vote totals determine the winner, not the statistical polarity or majority a candidate may have in the national popular vote totals. Electoral votes are awarded on the basis of the popular vote in each state. So this answers this right here. The electoral college vote is what matters, not the popular vote. At the end of the election, that's what they show, the electoral vote. That's how they win. So in all honesty, it don't matter who's lining up in line for hours. By the way, y'all people be in the lines for hours just for your vote not to really matter at all. You can do it, but does it really matter? No, because if you're not the electoral college, if you're not talking in that electoral college, whoever that person is, by the way, whoever that electoral college voter is, if you're not all up in their ear telling them who to vote for, it don't matter. Your vote is just a popular vote. Now, if someone would say, well, technically it does matter because the last sentence of what it says, and it's the popular vote. It's like, no, but the electoral college trumps that popular vote. So just because somebody could have voted, let's say it was a state that voted for Trump, but the electoral college voted for Harris, and it was more voice towards Harris in the electoral college, that means she won that state. But anywho, I'm not going to keep dwelling on that. You all get the point. So that's my point on that. Like, this is why we shouldn't be dealing with politics. It's always like a loophole to things. It's always like a way for these people to still not do what the people want them to do, if that makes sense. But I'm going to get into these video clips because I was trying to pivot towards the women, specifically the sisters that was mad about Kamala Harris. No reason why these sisters should have been going crazy like this, because she lost. Also, fair use. So this is the Candace Owens show. Of course, I don't agree with Candace Owens. I just watched this episode after Trump had won the election, and it was kind of funny on certain parts of how these people were going crazy online after she lost. So I'm gonna play the clip.
Do anything for that long. She was lazy. She was even too lazy to just be herself. I mean, she plagiarized Barry Soetoro's playbook. It was the exact same game. She was like, oh, Obama did it. I'll just do it. I'm going to publish this fake book. Let me post up with my fake grandma. Here's me and my grandma barrel. And then things began to unravel. Honestly, if I'm being completely honest here, the only thing, the singular...
Oh, right. And I want to just add on to that. Candace Owens and Judge Joe Brown, it actually wasn't Candace Owens first. It was actually Judge Joe Brown who then brought up the fact that she wasn't even quote unquote black, as people keep saying. Like these people online, like they both brought it out already that she wasn't even black, but somehow everyone was convinced that she was black, and even the book that she wrote, it was already known that it was a fake book. So yeah, anyway, back to the clip.
Thing that was indeed unfair to Kamala Harris was that she came after Joe Biden's election in 2020. Show you this young woman on TikTok because I think she speaks for really all liberals and celebrities today. Take a listen.
I'm sorry. No, 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 no. Why? Why? Do you really hate me that bad?
She just needs a doctor. I don't know what to say. That is just amazing. It's happening all over the internet.
So that's a sister that essentially was going crazy in her car, and she felt the need to post this on TikTok, but I don't understand why. Like, she's upset because Kamala Harris. This is how much invested you all are into these elections. It literally emotionally affects you. Like, do you know how many people were depressed because Kamala lost and Trump won, or how many people are upset that he won? It's like, oh, and it's like, either way it go, like, you people don't even be thinking about, like, one thing our people don't think about is the fact of the Psalms 83, the crafty counsel that works all against you. The fact that you're in the land of your enemies, none of these people are for you. None of these people love and care about you. Even though Trump won and he might seem like, oh, I'm down for the blacks, whatever. It's like, y'all don't know what these people are going to actually do when they get into office. They can do some things like in Egypt when they was like, kill all the men and keep all the sisters. You know, like, you don't know, you don't know what these people are going to do, essentially. Like, you should not be disinvested. You should just be trying to, I want to say almost keep your head down, but it's not keeping your head down. It's like you just should be doing the work in your own community. Okay, keeping the law, statutes, commandments. That's all that you can really do. Have trust and hope in Yahawah to get you through whatever it is that these people in office are going to try to do to hurt and harm you, because that's all it's really about. If they're making positive change, trust and believe it's not actually for you, Israelite man and woman. It's for the white people that they come from and descend from. It is not for you, like, or whatever other nationality or ethnicity that they come from. It's so they can have a better life here. It is not for you. And just to toss out the main fact that everybody is missing too, the Native Americans. This is their land. There's not even all these people fighting and going crazy over this land, and it's like, oh, we're American. Da, da, da. No, you're not. No, what does it mean to be an American? To take somebody's stuff and be like, oh yeah, it's mine. Give me that. Kick you out the way. It's mine now. Like what? Like what is this? Like what is? I don't know. Like this whole game here is stupid. It's like the game of Monopoly, but in the in the sense of like, yeah, before we even get to the Monopoly game, let's just come to an unknown land and kill off all these people here, and then we're gonna just set up shop and have everybody be all patriotic about it. Like, give me a break. Anyway, back to the video.
They are deeply upset that we did it. And in terms of the listeners on this show, well, what we accomplished here, no doubt, is that we made Kamala. I don't know why they seem more attached to the narrative that the Democratic Party is going to say them, but black men really said no to Barack Obama. Like Barry rolling up his sleeves, an inauthentic sleeve cuff roll, and lecturing them about what it means to be a black man, which is something that he's never lived his life as he was raised by white people in Hawaii and went to unbelievably expensive schools and dated white women. It's very strange that he thinks that he can do this and not get called out in this day and age. Latino men, look at that. Look at Latino men, 54% for Trump. And so this is not really telling a story about this racist Hitler man. You have Latino women at 37%.
Okay. Yeah, so these are supposed to be the ending polls for Kamala versus Trump. And in my, when I just a first glance at it, I would have thought that Kamala won based off of like how they have it laid out, just how it looked. But once again, the electoral college is what really matters. So, as you all see, 92% of black women who voted, now it's only the numbers of who voted, not all black women, because that's the thing too that they kind of allude to when it comes to statistics. It's only out of that control group, only out of the group of people who voted, 92% of them that were considered black women voted for Kamala Harris, not all black women, because they talk like as if 92% of all black women vote. No, like everybody doesn't even vote. So it's just only out of people who voted. These are the numbers based off of them, like the ones who voted. But as you can see, like, this is crazy. 92% of black women. Now I'm only talking about the sisters. I'm not going to talk about anybody else. It doesn't matter. 92% of the sisters, the Israelite women, voted for Kamala Harris. You all were banking on a woman ruler. Once again, which I'm going to get into that in another video. This divine feminine spirit, this Asherah worship that's starting to come out. Mother Mary now, she's rising up now, like this strong woman spirit, this divine feminine, as you would call it in esotericism, right? In the New Age, it's called the divine feminine. Which some people who are New Testament, y'all deal with that. Y'all literally go into like esotericism, New Age stuff, philosophies, and like that Indian stuff, which is like the meditation, affirmations, like all of that is actually New Age. And New Age, as far as dealing with chakras, things of that nature, that comes from India. Like that is the Indians with the dots, okay? That comes from them. But anywho, not to just ramble on about that, this whole push for a woman ruler and all these women getting out of pocket is now starting to come to the surface all the way. Like, you all basically, you're still in a curse, women. And it's just coming to the head of you all in that curse of the Isaiah 3. And I'm going to get into that, but I'm going to just finish the clip, part of the clip.
And unbelievable to see that. And honestly, I'm surprised it's not more than 37%. I have not come across Latino women that supports Kamala. So that really shocks me. And then you have all others. So you wonder, you look at that and you say, are they going to be humble? Are they going to humble themselves? Are they going to come down from their high horses and look us in the face and say, look, we got this thing wrong? Well, apparently my husband says Brian Stelter of CNN has done that. I actually haven't read the article, but apparently he's written a piece to the same effect of Jeff Bezos' piece. But the majority of people in mainstream media are not doing that. They're just going to keep on going and keep on accusing and keep on name-calling all Americans. Take a listen to this compilation of the corporate media just shedding tears.
I can't help but wonder if the American people have given up on democracy.
We cannot ignore there is still a lot of racism and gender bias in this country.
I wish I had better news for my daughter later this morning. I know Tim Miller and I were talking about this earlier when she and so many others wake up to this news. I wish I could have called her and told her that the first woman president had just been elected. I wish that. I won't be able to do that.
There is a sort of Russian embrace of disinformation, a radical devaluing of truth over the last 9 to 10 years, and a complete ignorance on civics.
That message obviously was not enough to get enough white women to vote for Vice President Harris, a fellow woman. This will be the second opportunity that white women in this country have to change the way that they interact with the patriarchy. And
you're talking about the propaganda campaign and the playbook of Trump. This is not new. This is not surprising. This is directly out of Hitler's playbook. This is out of an autocrat playbook.
It's not the elite that's going to pay the price. It's people who woke up this morning with a dream and are going to bed with a nightmare. And those people didn't deserve to be respected and held and talked to. Those are the people who are going to pay the price for whatever Donald Trump decides to do.
Okay, so enough of Candace Owens. Like, I'm tired of hearing her talk. So, so enough of that. I just kind of really want that clip to show that compilation she had. I thought it was funny. For one, it's funny because mainstream media and their propaganda, actually, they pushed all this propaganda of Kamala Harris. Is just ridiculous. You know, they went into America old trick bag from like the early 1900s or mid 1900s, I would say, of pushing these ideas on people that they want them to have. Like, basically, like, all we saw, we didn't even see any ads about Trump, only a couple of them. We mainly saw all over the place Kamala Harris. If she didn't win, that was just on her. Like, the people wanted what they want, but see, they don't want you to want what you want. They want you to want what they want. That is America. Like, they just want to control you. It's this mass psychosis that they're trying to implement here, and it's already have been done, by the way. But the whole thing was they was really hoping and pushing for this women rulership. All these women rising up, like you heard that the white women, like, oh, I wish I could tell my daughter that the first woman president was elected. Like, that's all y'all care about. You don't care about what she's actually saying is right, what she's trying to push for is correct, is it ethical, is it moral? No. You're just worried about the fact that she's a woman and she's going to make you feel empowered because you see a woman in office. Now, I'm going to just go back into the Torah, right? Like, when we talk about being an Israelite, you sisters already know what it is. You know it's Yahweh, the man, woman, child. You are not over the man in the home. Otherwise, you're going with the Isaiah 3, and let me pull that up on the screen. This is Isaiah 3 and 12. My people, infants are their oppressors, and women rule over them. O my people, your guides mislead you, and they have swallowed up the course of your paths. So, here in America, right, they want to give women all these rights. Am I saying that women shouldn't have rights? No. What I'm saying is, everything has to be balanced. Everything has to be in order. Like, of course, women shouldn't just be getting, I'm going to say, raped. Of course, like, duh, no. Like, and there's laws against that in the Torah. Women shouldn't just be getting beat on and hit on. Like, yeah, like, there's certain things, like, no. Like, women should have certain rights of protection. But you already have that with the Torah. If you actually read it, you will know. But a lot of you women that's even in the Torah, or even you women that's in the New Testament, which is so weird, like, you New Testament women are really pushing for this woman rulership because you feel like you don't have a voice. Because, yeah, like it says in the New Testament, suffer not a woman to teach. So if you are a woman teaching, it is a suffrage. It is a bad thing. It's painful. It's annoying, like, that you're teaching. Nobody wants to hear it. Shut up, woman, and go sit down. Like, that's the narrative in the New Testament. In the Torah, that's not the case. How can it be suffer not a woman to teach when, as a woman, you have to teach your children? As a woman, you have to be there for your man. Like, so if your husband's going off, you think you not gonna teach or say something? Not like teach him, but like help him to bring him back up. That means you're gonna have to say some encouraging words. That means you're gonna have to say the scriptures to him. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's just like, how can it be suffer not a woman to teach? It's a nation thing. The man and the woman went into a covenant, right? It wasn't just the men. It was men, women, children. We all are under the covenant, which means we all have to keep the law, which means we all have to know it and learn it. We all have to be able to teach it, right? So it cannot be suffer not a woman to teach yet again. But, yeah, so this whole feminist movement that's going on real heavy, it's totally not good. It's going against the natural order of things. And all of you women talking about my body, my choice. Ooh-wee, I don't know. you all will fall with that doctrine. You all will fall. Because the my body, my choice movement is just really only about aborting babies. from what I've seen. It's not about nothing else. And at the end of the day, like, yes, you have a choice to be with someone or not to be with someone. So yes, you do have a choice. Like, when you start to, like, I really just trying to figure out, like, what is really this whole my body, my choice thing. Because some things, it's like, yes, you have a choice to do things or to not to do things. But when we start talking about giving life and taking life, like, you're not supposed to take life. That is considered murder. If you're hurting someone innocent, right, an innocent life, if you're just killing an innocent life, that is considered murder. Thou shalt not murder. That is one of the 10 commandments. Now in 16 it says, Yahweh said, because the daughters of Zion are haughty and walk with outstretched necks, glancing wantonly with their eyes, menacing along as they go, tinkling with their feet. Therefore Yahweh will strike with a scab the heads of the daughters of Zion. You women who suffer from alopecia, you're bald, you can't grow your hair past your shoulders. Okay. And Yahweh will lay bare their secret parts. Oh, I wonder what that means. In that day, Yahweh will take away the finery of the anklets, the headlets, and the crescents, the pendants, the bracelets, and the scars, the hairdressers, the armlets, the sashes, the perfume boxes, and the amulets, the signet rings, and the nose rings, the festival robe, the festal robes, the mantles, the cloaks, and the handbags. So, of course, let me keep going. The mirrors, the linen garments, the turbans, and the veils. Okay, so that was a lot. But obviously, we, in our prime, the women of Yasharal, had, as we do today, we be having, our perfumes, our bags, our scarves, jewelry, etc., etc. But it was 100% though, not this cheap fake stuff. Now, of course, some people, are restoring that to themselves. I'm talking about the ones in the truth. But all in all, we do know that all of this has been taken away from us. And, of course, by turning it back to Yahweh, some of these things can be restored to you, if that makes sense. Now, 24, it said, instead of perfume, there would be rottenness, and instead of a belt, a robe, and instead of a well-set hair, baldness, and instead of a rich robe, a skirt of sackcloth, and branding instead of beauty. Your man shall fall by the sword, and your mighty man in battle, and her gate shall lament and mourn empty, she shall sit on the ground. Okay, so we already know some women, they be having issues with stinking. So I'm not going to go into all that. That's woman health. That's a woman health topic. So we do know, there is women who suffer from that, also from baldness. And once again, basically, your riches have been taken away from you. As we know, our people suffer from poverty. A lot of us. Because all of these things, the riches, the clothes, the perfumes, the handbags, all of that has been taken away from us. The men and the women, everything has been taken away. Based off of the sins and iniquities. But a lot of you all are not even turning away from the sins and iniquities. You're doubling down on it. You are allowing these white people, I'm going to just keep it vague or keep it broad, I would say. You all are letting these white people or these other nations to pump your head up with this fake stuff, with this false stuff, and having you go left. They don't want you to deal with the law, statutes, commandments. They want you to deal with whatever they have going on. That whole, with the feminist movement, that started by white women, and that was their struggle with their men because they did not have rights when those white men brought them women over here. They did not have no rights, just like how you didn't. So that's why they fought, because they're like, hey, if y'all ruling over these people, why can't we be doing the same as well? Why can't we go do this and do that? They just hate their people. That's their people fight. They don't have nothing to do with you. So you join in with these movements that have nothing to do with you. That's other people battles. And just another scripture I wanted to bring up, Proverbs 16 and 18, where it say, pride goes before destruction and a haughty spirit before a fall. So the whole point, or one of the points in Isaiah 3 is that basically the daughters of Zion were very haughty, and they still are. But we already know, as I just read, that pride goes before destruction. Okay, if you're haughty in spirit and you're full of pride, you're going to fall. Period. Nothing good is going to come from you being prideful and being haughty. As you women can see, you're suffering from these doctrines. You're single, or you single with a baby, you raising a baby all by yourself, you going through it, but you want to have this concept in your mind, of doing away with men or having power over men, and it's not acceptable. Like I said, I know this topic is controversial because, of course, women need to be held accountable and men need to be held accountable for the wrong that they do to each other. It's not just the man that's bogus out here in today's time. The women are too. And as we're seeing in today's time, the men, so like, been getting theirs. People been dragging the Israelite men all through the mud. Now you finally see the women actually getting judged and being told the truth about their actions. And a lot of women cannot handle it. But honestly, it's like, it's only fair. Y'all been dragging the quote-unquote black men, the Israelite men, for years. And now as soon as somebody turn the mirror on you, you like going crazy. Nah, it don't work like that. You gotta be fair, Now, I'm going to touch on this Hosea 3 once again about, the whole women to worship and all this type of thing. That will not stand. That's not what we're supposed to be looking for. As it says here in Hosea 3 and 5, afterward, the children of Yasharal shall return and seek Yahawah, their God. So once again, Yahawah, their God. Just Yahawah, not JC. It don't say nobody else, no other deity name, nothing. It's only Yahawah we're supposed to be seeking. And David, their king. Not so-and-so, their queen. David, their kings. Okay. And they shall come and fear to Yahawah and to his goodness in the latter days. Which we know the latter days is the last days. So like for that noise, that's the dog. The latter day is the last day. So even in the end days, which a lot of people say we are in, right? So this is why everybody needs to pick a side. If we're in the last days and everybody keeps saying it's the end of days, it's the last days. Oh, the day of Hawad is coming soon, or we gonna go into the wilderness soon. And well, all of you women out here that's you want to be killing baby, you want the right to kill babies, and you worried about Kamala Harris, and you going crazy because you want to be on this women worship, divine, feminine, blah, 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 blah. It's not going to end well for you. You will end up being destroyed. Or it will go into, you will end up one way or another being one of these women here. Let's say a remnant prepared, and now it's Isaiah 4:1. And 7 women shall take hold of a man in that day, saying, we will eat our own bread and wear our own clothes. Only let us be called by your name to take away our reproach. Right, so at the end of the day, a lot of you sisters probably is just going to get it through your head. Once you hit your head a couple of times, by going through certain situations, you'll eventually catch on and get it that, yeah, you do need a man. The man is supposed to be your covering, So you cannot do it by yourself. It takes 2 to make a baby. It takes 2 to raise a baby. Like, this whole concept of women online. It's a lot of things going on online. I probably would try to find the clips, but this will turn into a whole women video, which it kind of already has. But there's clip online of women choosing to be single mothers now. Like, there's clips online of women swearing off of men now because Kamala Harris lost the election. Like, it's just stupid. But let me pull up the other clip.
That every time she came to Georgia, or when she went to a HBCU, the tour was basically being led on women's rights and reproductive rights. And to me, that was very offensive because, for one, Roe v. Wade had already been overturned. So it wasn't even on the ballot, if we're going to be completely honest. So it was just a way to play on the emotions of black women. And then also it was the fact that you're voting for women's rights, but you got to be born to become a woman, right? And these type of rights actually execute the women of tomorrow. So it's like all of the women that thought that they were voting for black life were actually the carriers of black life, right? Voting for a right to terminate black life. So it was a very offensive campaign to me, even all the way down to the DNC. And I think that's what sealed it in the coffin to me, because they went to the DNC, and I call it an abortions Hot Wheel bus, right? Because they had a bus where they were performing live abortions on the scene. What? And me, because I'm spiritual and I done studied all the religions and I know about Moloch and Moloch worship, I'm saying to myself, you mean to tell me that these people actually performing human sacrifices at the DNC to win the election? And I was like, God is not going to stand for this. But everybody you saw getting off that bus was a black woman. When you talk about downtown Chicago, what's the demographic? So why are we sending abortion Hot Wheel buses to the hood?
Was this really going
but we're not
on,
taking them
Angela?
to the
You
border.
making this up? Because
Okay, now she just said a whole lot. I'm gonna actually pull up that clip about the DNC, but she basically just said a lot of stuff that I was thinking and wanted to say more clearly. But of course, like with all that she's being said, which I'm gonna get to Leviticus 20, is the only thing that it seemed like a lot of these women were concerned about was the women's rights, which was, on one end, people were just concerned about the fact that she was a woman, and they just wanted a woman in power. So they was power tripping, right? Which, of course, that goes against the Torah. Yes, you had Deborah, who was a woman judge, but that was the time of judges. And then the only other time you see women in charge was Jezebel and Athaliah, wicked queens. Okay, Athaliah was actually trying to kill off the whole bloodline of David, because other than that, King David, it's a lot. Because other than that, you would have men ruling, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's not to say they don't have wives. Of course, the wives is technically considered queen, whether they the queen is whether they have one or multiple ones. If that's their wives, then you are the queen. If we want to use these terms. So it's like, it's nothing wrong with this. Like, this is the natural order of things. Like, this is how things just go. And it's like what people are saying today, women have to accept their role and men have to play and accept theirs. We have to play our roles too. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Both of us play our parts. Everything runs smoothly. We move as one together. Like, I don't understand where all of a sudden things changed and now it's like the women want to be on top. That's a very heavy burden to bear. Why would you want to be in charge of all these things? Let the men lead. You just be the support helpmate. That is our job. That's our role. And that should be fine, because you play a big role in making sure that your household is going smoothly, and other things in the nation are going smoothly. It takes men and women. You know what I'm saying? Like, hopefully what I'm saying makes sense and I'm not just rambling, but it takes the men and women to assure that the flow of the community is running properly, to make sure the flow of your home, like everything's running properly in your home. Like, everybody has their part to play, and it shouldn't be a problem if we know we can't just start switching roles and be like, yeah, I'm gonna play your part, you're gonna play mine, and we're gonna see how this goes. No, like, that's how you got everything out of balance today. And these people, specifically the government, right, they did this on purpose. Now, I don't want to get into specific names. We should know the specific names by now, right? Like the woman, what's her name, Margaret Sanger, whatever that woman name is, who came up with the Planned Parenthood. These people do things on purpose to purposely target us. Okay, just like with the welfare system. It wasn't to help out, well, at first it was to help out their people, but of course they saw, hey, we can destroy the quote-unquote black, I'm just saying quote-unquote with black because we know we're not black, but the quote-unquote black household. We're going to destroy the black household with this welfare system. So it's just like they do these things on purpose to target us, to destroy us even more than we already are, because we already got destroyed. Yahweh already let the enemies take us, and we got kicked out the land. So you was already destroyed then. So now they got you in their land, and they trying to destroy you even more because they want to make you not a nation. They want to get you off of the face of the earth. Period. Rather you get absorbed, like some, how some people not around no more, but they got absorbed into another people. They either want to absorb you into another people, or just completely have you extinct. This is why they push abortion. Is because, if you in the truth, of course, like, this shouldn't even be like, we already know, like, what that whole abortion thing is, you know what I'm saying? So, but, I just wanted to, just say that, and then, but let me pull up this clip, and then I will bring up specifically on Leviticus 20 about the whole Molech worship, because that is what essentially this whole society is all about, the worship of Baal. So like you have to even say these deities' names, I'm just saying it for educational purposes. It's all about the worship of that God. It's all about the worship of the woman, that woman goddess stuff. That's why you have the Statue of Liberty. Like, who is that? That is a deity. Okay, that Diana, the Mother Mary, all of that. Like, that's what really America is based off of. Of these same two deities popping up over the years. They're just changing the names. The same two deities, the Azeroth, however you pronounce it, and the Baal. Same two deities from way back then that caused us to stumble. They're popping up again here in America. That's why you're falling for it easily too, because these are already like the same two ones that our ancestors have struggled with. So it's in our blood. It's in us, it's in our DNA to do idolatrous things, but that's the thing, you're supposed to fight against that. If you know, it's just like someone who is an alcoholic, like their mama was alcoholic, and and then you become alcoholic, then your child can become alcoholic. It's like, if you know that alcoholism like runs in your family, then you would start to do things to prevent it. Same with idolatry. It's like the same thing. It's like inherited. The thought is just coming to me now. It's the same thing with idolatry. Idolatry is inherited within us. So it'd be our job to prevent ourselves from doing idolatrous things. This is why you're supposed to be becoming set apart, right? Learning how to grow your own food, getting a skill again, learning how to sew clothes, make tassels, build homes, etc., etc. Like, this is why you need to set yourself apart, so you're not all in society, all around these people, being tempted, doing these things. Like, that's the whole point. We're supposed to be going back to the ancient paths, not modern, ancient. So steady being involved in a society is not beneficial to us, and it is tempting to us to easily go backwards into who we once were, and that is not who we are trying to be today. We're trying to be the higher version of ourselves. So why would we still be around and involved in wickedness that's going to tempt us to be the lower version of ourselves? And hopefully I just cleaned that all up, what I was just trying to say, because it was like a word salad, but hopefully I got that message all out clearly. But let me pull up that video about the DNC, and then I'm going to go into the Moloch. And I'm really basically done with this video. I just had to get on the sisters for a little bit and just show them, like, hey, this is what you're actually supporting. You New Testament sisters that got mad. Maybe even you Torah sisters who got mad. I mainly just saw the New Testament sisters, But, I would say I can understand it because, y'all are oppressed in the New Testament. I get it. You want to see a woman ruler and you'll feel empowered by it. But if you learn the truth, right, and actually drop the JC character and start reading more of the Torah and Tanakh, you will see that there were a lot of women who played important roles, and that whole suffer a woman not to cheat does not apply in the Torah at all. But yeah, let me get the clip.
During the DNC, the group providing free vasectomies, medication abortions, and emergency contraception. Yesterday and today, that van must park just a few blocks from the UC. A spokesperson says one goal is to help people who are here from states where access to those services may be limited.
We're just really excited to provide the opportunity for the thousands of folks who are coming to Illinois to demonstrate for them that, it is possible to start closing some healthcare gaps for folks.
Planned Parenthood says it served between 20 and 30 patients over the last 2 days. The mobile unit is not connected to the convention.
Just wants to play that clip. So as you all see, even though they said that's healthcare, like, let's not pretend that a lot of people are doing these things based off of, I'm just going to go there today, being irresponsible and people not promoting safe sex or no sex at all. Like, at all. For some reason, they teach children to have sex and to take birth control. They don't teach, wait till you're married. Of course, of course, this is America. It's Babylon. It's abominable. So, of course, they don't teach these things. But, like, why don't you teach people to have, like, the value of, hey, don't just be sleeping around with people. Get married. Wait till you find that right person. You shouldn't just be out here having babies with people or just having one night stands. Or you messing around and boop, here come a baby, even though y'all don't really want to be together. It's just like the stuff they teach in society is like, in this society is so stupid. Like, they don't teach anybody to have basically conservative point of views. They don't teach anybody to have like morals and to be ethical at all. Like, they shouldn't even, like, the fact that you all don't see that is totally unethical is beyond me. It's beyond me. If people just wait till they're married, or even like for these young people who get married, they be like, oh, I don't want to have a baby yet. It's like, that's you got married. Like, that's what's gonna happen. You're gonna procreate. Like, that is the basic thing that we do as, you want to say, humans. You procreate. Like, that is how nations keep going. Like, that's just what everybody do. You're supposed to procreate so your nation don't die off. Like, I don't know. So this whole thing of, I can just opt out of procreating because I don't want to yet. Like, I don't know. Or the fact of, like, I'm gonna opt out of procreating while I'm married, and that's the whole I don't want to yet. Like, I don't want to procreate yet, even though I'm married, or basically I don't want to procreate at all. I don't know. Or you being irresponsible, and now you trying to cover up your irresponsibility by, going to running and getting these things done. I don't know. But let me get into Leviticus 20. I'm just going to read it. So Leviticus 20 and 2 says, let me pull it up actually on the screen. Okay, so this 20 and 2. Say to the people of Yasharal, any of the people of Yasharal, or of the strangers who sojourn in Yasharal, who gives any of his children to Molech, shall surely be put to death. The people of the land shall stone him with stones. I myself will set my face against that man, and will cut him off from among his people, because he has given one of his children to Molech, to make my sanctuary unclean, and to profane my holy name. And if the people of the land do at all close their eyes to that man, when he gives one of his children to Molech, and do not put him to death, then I will set my face against that man and against his clan, and will cut them off from among their people, him and all who follow him in whoring after Molech. Okay, so there you have it. That all of that stuff, it's child sacrifice. And even if you don't say anything to people, as we already know in Leviticus, I already said, if you do not speak against someone who is sinning, you do not say anything, you bear that iniquity as well as them. You cannot be quiet. This is not a nation of, how they teach us today, just mind your business, ain't got nothing to do with you. No, It actually do, because if you're evil and wicked and doing abominable things, guess what? You're going to rub it off on somebody else, and so on and so on. It is to put the evil away from us. That's why we're supposed to speak up and say something. So let me just end this video because it has drawn on and on. So ending this video, I'm going to get Amos 5 and 14. Right. And I know I haven't been doing videos in a while. I will come back to do more videos, and I surely will touch on more topics, fully diving into the divine feminine spirit and worship, diving into Christianity, just diving into all the things that I was supposed to do earlier this year, but I just didn't, because based off my own personal reasons, I took a break. But yeah, so Amos 5 and 14, it says, "Seek good and not evil, that you may live, and so Yahawah, the God of hosts, will be with you as you have said. Hate evil and love good, and establish justice in the gate. It may be that Yahawah, the God of hosts, will be gracious to the remnant of Joseph." Okay. So we're supposed to be seeking good, right? We're not supposed to be seeking evil. In this land, it's only evil and wickedness. We're not supposed to be dealing with the ways of the heathen. And let me just grab that right quick too. Right, that's easy, right? Everybody know this. I mean, they heard it so many times. The Jeremiah 10 and 2. Thus says Yahawah, learn not the ways of the nations, nor be dismayed at the signs of the heavens, because the nations are dismayed at them. For the customs of the people are vanity. Now, the verse 3 is the main point. The customs of the peoples are vanity. In politics, now let me just jump back on the original topic of politics. The whole thing is one side against another side. It's not balanced. It's not equal. Totally goes against, right? When you think about how America is set up, right? They got this party over here, that party over here, the independent party and conservative party. Like there was no balance. There was nothing that's equally yoked here. You know, it's all about this side. You know, it's all about the verses. They don't have it like to where, okay, we as a land are going to follow this one thing that best works for this land and these people. And no, they don't have none of that going on. It's all about fighting and having these having the people, the society under these top elites control. Okay, they give you the illusion of choice. They gave you the illusion of democracy, and it's really not there at all. Because you really have the Democratic and the Republican Party. They're on the same team, but they're going to act, right? Because a lot of these people are actors, too. I don't know if people know that. And you do have crisis actors as well. A lot of these people are actors. Like, they're acting, pretending like we're against each other, but behind closed doors, because, right, you don't see what's going on behind closed doors, they're on the same team. It's just about what agenda is up next. What's on the agenda now, you all, since we conquered the whole world? So what we're going to do now? That's all it's about. That's all it's about. It's the typical world domination. Have everybody under your thumb and keep the chosen people of the Creator down. Because if we get our spot back, guess what? Everybody got to get their stuff together. Yahawah gonna come put everybody back in their place. Period. Ain't none of that. None of this stuff going on ain't finna happen no more. So guess what? They're gonna keep playing these games in front of you. They're gonna keep acting, right, and have you all caught up, being tossed to and fro from this way, that way. You know, all distracted, all lost in the sauce. You know, this is what these people do, and it should be so obvious now that this is what they do. They being the government, the corporations, the elites, whatever, you know, that these people that's running society. This is what they do. It's all one big trick. It's all one big game, people. That's why you got that life is a stage. You know, these people are, I ain't finna go too deep into that, because then I'm already like shadow banned, but they probably, you know, shadow ban me even more, I guess. But so Amos 3, right? So I'm gonna just get that. Amos 3 and 3. Do two walk together unless they have agreed to meet, right? So basically, how can two walk together unless they agree? America is not like that at all. And you should be applying this too to your life. How can two walk together unless they agree? How? America is all over the place. You don't agree with what's going on in America, but they're going to make you pick between, as people say, the lesser of two evils. But why would you pick any one of the evils? Why? The thing about a game is, it's always an end to a game, and you can walk away from a game, you can quit a game, or you can simply not play the game at all. So stop playing the game of these people, Yasharal. Like, know when to walk away. Like, walk away from this game and get back to this Torah. So I'm going to end it in this video with Isaiah 1. Hopefully I wasn't all over the place. I think I said it's like every video, but whatever. I genuinely just be self-conscious about it. Hopefully I was doing a good job of bringing out the message that I want to bring out. Everybody should know their roles and be playing their roles properly. It should be okay. It shouldn't be an issue. And us as a people, we need to walk away from this game that these people are playing with us and get back to seeking Yahweh. Okay, lamenting, repenting of your sins. Isaiah 1:16. Wash yourselves and make yourselves clean. Remove evil of your deeds from before my eyes. Cease to do evil. Learn to do good. Seek justice. Correct oppression. Bring justice to the fatherless. Plead the widow's cause. This is the things we're supposed to be doing, Yasharal. Come now, let us reason together, says Yahweh. Though your sins are like scarlet, they shall be as white as snow. Though they are red like crimson, they shall become like wool. That's it. Bottom line, people. I think I was supposed to go back to Leviticus 26. I'll hop on that topic another time. But, I mean, this is also bringing out the same point as well. You know, Leviticus 26 is talking about us repenting of our sins and the ancestors' sins. But here it's like, it's similar. Like, wash yourselves, make yourself clean. Part of doing that is repenting and humble yourself to Yahweh. So, that's all I have to say, family. Shalawam. May Yahweh be with you all. You all stay safe. You all stay trusting in Yahweh. Be encouraged, be strengthened, and know that we are Yasharal. There will be a remnant that is going to be saved. Yahweh is our Savior and our Redeemer. Okay. And I know I said I was going to end it, but let me just pull that up because, some people doubt that too. If Yahweh is our Savior and our Redeemer. And it's like, come on now, like if you all are in these books, you should know. Yes, New Testament people. Read the title. It says, besides me, there is no God. Isaiah 44. Thus says Yahweh, the King of Yasharal, and his Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts. Says, I am the first and I am the last. Besides me, there is no God. Period. So, in this whole verse, it's saying Yahweh is the King of Yasharal. Yahweh is Yasharal Redeemers. Yahweh is the Lord of hosts, right? It's Yahweh of hosts. There's multiple hosts, right? That he's over. And Yahweh is the first and the last. And there is no God besides him. And with that being said, people, Shalawam family.